We both came of age a long time ago.
Not that long ago.
We don't want to share you. Maybe for you, mine is longer. So we don't want to show you the details, but this game is coming of age. Nothing to do with our age. This is a game about progressing through life.
Yes, Progressing Through Adolescence. This is designed by Danny Garcia and published by Ludonova. And this is, yes, coming of age. And this is a review.
So we are going to go through the overview first and then the review coming. This is one of the new Essen 2025 releases, and this is a Euro game. You'll see if this is a game for you or not.
So in the game, there is a central board, and each player has a player board which represents an adolescent head. The game,
a face.
Yes, the game is played over 9 rounds, and you'll be progressing through different stages of youth. In the first stage, I think it's 9 turns, 4 rounds actually. In any case, there's 9 sequences of play. In the first one, you have a single D4. You will roll that, and you'll have 4 actions to choose from, and these numbers correspond to the different actions. So it'll tell you which column you're in. Then when you progress to the next phase, there will be 2 additional actions added. So now we've got 6, and you represent that phase of life with pair of D6s. So on the first one of your turns within that phase, you would roll both the dice and choose one of those, do actions there, and then in the second phase, you'll roll your other one and act according to that. That then continues to progress as you go into adolescence. So then there's 3 dice that are D8s for when there's 8 action spaces. And finally, 3 phases with 10 actions. Now, a big part of what you're trying to do when you activate these columns is manage these tracks on your board, because these are kind of your formative experiences. When you take actions in a location, you'll get some track advancements or regressions. I've got all 5 tracks here, although they don't come into play, all of them, until a little bit later in the game. So take that with a grain of salt slightly. But you would gain those track effects. Those track effects give you various bonuses, whether they're victory points, whether they're these resilience fists. And a big part of what you're trying to do to get the best actions is get to the ends of these tracks, because the top ends of these tracks have passive abilities while you're there, and any further steps let you collect these tokens. And it's these tokens that you'll be spending on the actions that are above that space. So here, if I wanted to then take the big action here, it would cost me one of these pumping iron tokens, these fitness tokens, and I would get some points and the bonuses on here and some tapes that I can use to manipulate my tracks. You also get to take the action below your space. All of these get resolved in the order that the bus drives from left to right. So you do the action below the space, and these are going to move from round to round. So you need to plan ahead for what's going to be where you need it to be. A lot of the actions that you'll be taking on these spaces are making friends and forming relationships. And there are some non-player characters that you can do that with. Or if you're in the same location that another player has taken an action, or perhaps put down some presence tokens, you can become friends with the other players.
Woohoo!
Each time you continue making friends, you advance down these tracks. They'll trigger various bonuses. And if you get all the way to the end, you can get some really good points by forming deep relationships. These are intimate relationships, and they take some special bonuses to get to. There are some objective tiles that you can collect and complete, so another good way of gaining points. You'll get to play those down into these spaces as you go through and score them as you complete them. You can also score the ones that are on your opponent's boards if you have a certain level of friendship with them. So yeah, there's bits of positive player interaction here in terms of completing the objectives on other players' boards, becoming friends with other players, and trying to go to the same spaces so that you can form those friendships. Each of these represents a location that you might visit during adolescence, and so one of the main actions you can take is to put your face there permanently so that you can take minor actions there every round. So there's a little bit of engine building as it goes on like that. And there's a couple of different ways to play with these tracks as well. You can gain frustration. Frustration is a part of adolescence, and you can use that to manipulate your die values or for various other penalties. Frustration stops you from gaining the rewards there, but if you can convert your frustration, which is another action, then you can grow positively from that frustrating experience and potentially gain some more points. So
sounds too real to life, Tarrant.
Yes, a little bit of balance there, and that's something that I do recall in a couple of Danny Garcia's other games.
Yep.
Dietoshi very much had that mechanism where you were
I remember
gaining
that.
the tokens and you were annoying the spirits in that token or something.
Yes.
You got too many of a resource from a type of land, and you got negative for that. But you needed to do that to get those
positive
resources.
Yeah, you
So,
can.
bit of balance there, and you can see that through here. You play the game over the 9 rounds and add up all the points and see who gets the most.
Yes. So your actions are becoming more and more each round. I mean, if you have played Wingspan, then that's the opposite, right? Where your actions is becoming less and less because your cubes is gone for the objective points at the end of the round. So this is more and then more and more spaces are opening, and then this is kind of like a rondel in a way where the action is not fixed each round because this is moving. As you demonstrated before, it means that the combination of actions is different. So it's a variety that you need to look out for that and make sure that you benefiting from that potentially.
This game probably didn't meet my expectations overall, and there's a couple of things. The first one is that thematically, this is always the sort of theme that I struggle to connect with. Anytime you have a game where it's about dreams or emotions, I really struggle to connect that in my mind.
It's abstract
from a Euro
themes.
standpoint. It's beyond abstract. It confuses me.
Okay.
So that's part of it. But ultimately, I felt like it was very non-interactive. It was very much working on my own player board, trying to manipulate my tracks, because I didn't feel that the player interaction was significant. Which, I will say, Danny Garcia has had some great games with some great elements of player interaction released over the last few years. This has the least interaction of any of his games, and I found that a bit disappointing. I felt like I was basically fighting with my dice for the whole game.
So background information, Tarrant likes high interaction in terms of, your actions would be lost if other players get it first, for example, but not take that. So that you like that Euro type of interactions as a background story.
Yeah, but I mean, even here, I didn't feel like I was racing for much. I basically felt like I was rolling my dice, and you don't have that many dice, so you don't get that much flexibility. And I was trying to work out, all right, how do I manage frustration to get the dice where it benefits me the most? And then from there, I was kind of accounting my tracks, and it just didn't really click as a fun puzzle for me.
Okay. Well, I probably have different experience than you, which is like this happens a few times. We don't always agree.
Right.
It is a nice puzzle if you like. So multiplayer solitaire, then this is probably something that you wanna really puzzling in out. You're probably right about the solo puzzle. You're trying to manage your dice to try to put it in the right action. And I do like the fact that you can put your face there and then you get to do your action, or you do another action in the next round in that space. But that means you're losing the opportunity to gain that actions above it.
Yeah.
So that part is like, this is really good. But I constantly having to think, do I want that or do I want this? Do I want that now? I need to collect the tape as well. Is it called memory, I think?
Yes,
Memory.
and these tokens, these
really
mixed
cute.
tapes,
Yes.
they have a little arrow on them, and they're a once-off spend that you can use to move one of your tracks. So
Yes.
that's the benefit of those.
Yes.
They give you track flexibility.
and then you do want to get the points now, and then these are cumulative, so you can give up more than one, and then you can get more than one, and then you can gain more points, for example, right?
And the track puzzle has interesting timing, right?
Yes.
If you're into that optimization, you look at this objective I've flipped here. This is, you can score it in the moment if you have none of your track markers in the lower two spaces on a track.
Yeah, there's a timing
So,
element there.
Yeah, you need
It's
to
just-
get to that position, score it, and then you can go and do whatever else you want.
So a lot of decision, right? And this one, like, this will increase this track, this one will decrease this pink track, and then this will give you token. So do you want to go there for the bottom action, or this action, or the top action, or you just want to leave somebody, if it's not the right action, to do the top action for stronger action next round, right? And what I am disappointed when we play was that I tried to befriend Tarrant, so we push our relationship down at the bottom, and he didn't even want to befriend me at all. Like,
I wasn't doing a high friend strategy.
That's okay.
I was trying a frustration strategy.
he's trying to frustrate.
Yes,
Did you get frustrated out of that? Obviously, he did.
I got good points out of frustration. But that first time you were like, I'm going to come down to the bottom and be best possible friends with me, and I didn't hold up my end of the bargain.
But that's okay. I get the points. I don't care what he does, but I get the points, and I get to score Tarrant's objective as well at the bottom, which is nice.
Yep.
So that, to me, that is kind of like a little bit of interaction, but not the interaction that you expect for. So I think back to when we review Dirt and Dust, right? This is like solo puzzle. It's more like solo puzzle. It's a racing game, which is very different. I'll link it below as well for Dirt and Dust review. And this is something that it is what it is. If you like solo puzzle with your dice, although it's interactive, although it's multiplayer, but a lot of these are done solo. You need to do this, make sure you time things right to meet some objectives. There are also objectives that you can achieve in the personal objectives in the tile. So those are the variety that you can achieve. They can give you some pretty good points. And not to mention the bonuses at the top there. Time it right and you can get certain bonus that you need. Like the points is probably feeble 1, 1, 1. But push it to the rightmost and you get a permanent bonus or something, which helps.
Permanent, technically not permanent, because as soon as you spend these, you're
ongoing
going to move
bonus
backwards down those tracks.
Yeah.
And again, that's the timing you're trying to play. Like they're big benefits. This one makes all of your non-player characters wild. This one lets you pick any one of the actions down the bottom instead of where you are. This one increases how quickly you go down the left ear track. This one makes all of your friendships into potentially intimate friendships. So they're very strong, and you need to use them when you've got them, because once you spend the tokens, you won't have them anymore.
That's right.
And it's going to, that personal timing puzzle element it's very modern, it's very now. And this game will appeal to players who enjoyed Civolution but maybe wanted something a little bit less, a little bit fewer actions. Because it is that kind of game where you're playing against your dice. Your dice are going to tell you what your options are, and you have to find the right path through that.
Yes.
Again, I think you could say, does it have positive player interaction?
It does, yes.
A little bit. I feel like it's more you're putting down for engine building purposes, and then someone can interact with you. I don't know if it's direct. I guess it's positive player interaction. There's a little bit of it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that with the friendship bit. But this is, I do like the artwork as well. When you see what this lady is crying. This is like the things that you go through in life, like relaxing in the park and chilling out with friends, reading in library, and then basketball court, pizza place. Look, this is really cute.
Yes.
This is the bigger. And, who does not like to play on your own face
Yes.
head?
face has been sliced clean off, and this is the inner workings of your mind.
Oh, yes. That's pretty creepy if you put it that way. But thanks, Tarrant.
You're welcome.
And that is coming of age. Did you get it from Ascent? Did you play it? Did you demo it? Maybe you play tested it? Let us know in the comments if you have been playing this and what you think of it. And with that, I want to say thank you for watching and hopefully you have a great day. Bye.
Bye.